everyone, we're back to another exciting episode of Tech Predictions. Today, Bankrupt joined once again by Fluff.
What up, people?
And today's matchup is Fluff versus Steve. Steve isn't here to join us today, but we got Red Blue Launch taking on U7 Gohan. Like always, there's buttons, links, descriptions. Check them out. Let's get into the match. Launch.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, real quick. I guess it's Red Blue U7 Gohan. I just saw Senzu bean in his hand.
Well, so the thing with U7, right, is that because they have Warriors for U7, it eliminates specified costs. So all he needs to do is charge one blue over the course of the game, and it turns defensive Senzu beans on.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's not bad. I don't know that this is. He played it mostly like a red deck, which you'll see kind of going on. Launch, everyone kind of knows Launch. Launch hasn't been extremely relevant. But the whole point of Launch is to combo draw. Two combos, three draws every turn, both your turn and your opponent's turn. So it's just an advantage machine.
Yeah, especially now with the Zenkai, using the... I don't think it was the promo, I think it was the set. Maybe, was it the promo one? Where you could combo it from your drop?
It's the super.
Super, yeah.
Yeah.
So... And instead of it going away like it's supposed to, you just Z-charge it and then you expend that for a resource and then you have it again for another combo down the road.
Yeah. And, in the first game I played this weekend, I saw all four before turn 2.
Oh, wow.
And I was just able to constantly cycle all four copies, It was degenerate. I will say the one thing that kind of holds Launch back overall in the meta right now is Launch kind of struggles to end games at times. Like sometimes it's really good at just resourcing the opponent out, wearing them down. Other times it kind of feels the pressure. Like this U7 deck is another combo-based deck. Launch starts 5k behind every leader in the game pretty much and relies on its combo power. But when you're playing against a deck that combos itself, then Launch is in a lot of trouble because then I'm having to expend extra cards out of my hand to not take damage.
Yeah. I was say, yeah. I realized as soon as he was attacking you, I was like, oh yeah, he combos and draws just as much as you're going to as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of games in Launch where I will sit on 6 or 7 life the entire game. And if you noticed here on his turn 2, he put me down to 5 or 6 life. I can't tell.
It's 6,
what
yeah.
I meant. Yeah. But I think it's 6 as well. So really, I'm going to have to play defensively and try to edge out that way.
So real quick, Launch on the Awakened side, when it swings, you could target with a battle card or a leader and neg it by 5.
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where, because I see you did flip back, obviously to maximize your draws, but you did flip back over during his turn, so now you're not going to get that neg, unfortunately, out of the way.
Honestly, that effect is all but irrelevant. I'd rather have the draw as opposed to have that -5 on the spin.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep my hand count high. The advantage of this deck is it runs toolboxy for red, and just being able to see your pieces as you need them is really important. So I'd rather have that extra draw as opposed to that extra 5k minus.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's playing pretty defensively, not really letting me get damage in. He's comboing to, take advantage of the Zenkai stuff as well. And this game, just kind of fair warning without any spoilers, this game looks like it happened 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Because there are just cards that are like blast from a past. This is the first token. I think there are a total of 4 or 5 topos played over the course of this match.
Interesting. I was going to say, also, the card he comboed off with was a super combo, which I think is the one you can combo here 5. Well, I just feel like it's really early to combo off as well. But it does give you 2 draws for that one.
I think his hand was kind of dry of stuff to do. Because you saw he didn't spend any of his energy there to at least board a battle card. He just passed, which is what I wanted him to do. He's not spending that energy. And not doing anything to build himself up, to build a threat. He didn't even swing with his lead. He got the draw off the unison by comboing with the unison. Or no, he didn't. He didn't even swing with the lead. So he didn't gain any hand advantage. He didn't cycle anything in his deck there.
The leader, if I recall, gets a draw just for comboing, though. That's probably
just for comboing. But I negated that first swing with Topo, and he didn't want to attack again, so he didn't get to filter that turn, which is exactly what I wanted.
And I mean, technically, if he would have swung, he would have lost cards in the process due to Topo's effect. So here you got this. You established the kind of the theme of this deck, where you just throw out big boys for low energy. I was wondering that was such a bait. Like I see you charged one. And I'm thinking that's too good of a card to charge against this deck, and I mean that just shows it right there.
Yeah, here I'm just establishing pressure, getting him to waste resources in his hand, because he does tend to combo and rely on his draw power from the combos. I know that I have to establish as much pressure to get him to waste as much out of hand. And then he plops this Gohan onto the field. And this Gohan is going to generate more advantage as he combos. So now he's going to really be able to, if he's allowed to go off, he's going to, over time, probably win that arms race.
And I do recall Frieza having a way of negging cards out, but it's only 10k, so like you're going to be able to establish more of a, I feel like, board control in this current state until he starts bringing out bigger targets.
Yeah, and that's really kind of the game plan here. Is I'm pretty familiar with Universe 7. It doesn't have a ton of board control. So my hope is to just establish a very wide board and apply pressure with that. And you'll kind of see it doesn't really work in my favor. You'll kind of see that as the game really moves along and evolves. Here I'm setting up myself defensively while getting out of this comboed attack. Having to expend a super combo and a beam early doesn't feel great.
Yeah. It launches one of those few decks where you could choose when to take life, where you want to combo cards off to get the draws, you want to maximize that. And a situation like this, like you're at 6 life, there's nothing in his deck that I can think of top of my head that could just outright kill you with that much life.
Right.
But because your super combos aren't restrictive to your life total, they just resend it with the color energy. Like it has a level of like on launch's side, as long as you maintain a good hand size, you control what cards you can take either from your deck or from your life. Where he has to find other, and there's another Topo, yeah.
And here I have to, I think I asked Steve cards in hand, and I evaluated the quality of the cards in my hand, and I'm like, do I have enough resource in hand to push, just even to get the draw off? Because then I would be sacrificing 2 cards out of hand, sacrifice 2 cards in the combo to draw 3 cards. So it would still be a net -1 loss for me. So I decided to just pass the turn.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Like, we already got 3 Topos on this board right now. This is a very interesting setup.
Topo put in a ton of work in this match on both sides. And you'll see that there's another card that Steve runs in his deck that ends up putting an absolute nightmarish amount of pressure on me. I don't know if you've kind of kept track of what I've been comboing off, but I comboed off 3 of the Kaioken, concentrated Kaioken Gokus.
Yeah.
And I should have saved it. And you'll see why when it comes back to my turn. Here, I'm having to sequence because Topo is a 20k. He comboed, made it 25k. And I think the Unison has an ability, or the leader has an ability, to add a 6k combo power on a skillless combo, so it makes it an 11k combo. So that Topo is sitting at 31 right now.
Yeah, it's the leader, it's the spirit boost effect, but yeah, and that could really be sneaky.
Yeah,
just as sneaky as that. What the hell?
Yeah,
Now I can't. Yeah, he has barrier, so yeah, you can't snipe the Gohan.
I could have sniped the Gohan because the
Oh,
coolers
he
ignore
ignores
barrier,
barrier. Yeah, that's right.
but I wanted that topo off the field. Um, So, and I probably sequenced a little incorrectly. I was out of that topo swing when I plopped the cooler down. I didn't need to play the secondary cooler to kill. No, I was not because it was 21K. So I would have had to combo an additional 5K card to get the cooler out or to get out of the topo swing. So I just decided to board another cooler, neg the topo out. I think I killed a token and something else for my trouble as well. So I'm sitting with 3 coolers on the board, a topo, and a go. So I have 4 double strike swings on my next turn.
And I do know you played the cooler. We've seen it a couple times already, the blue one. But I think you combo 2 of those off, which help you cycle those cards.
Yeah, I didn't. I was one of the weird things about this match was I was seeing the topo or the beer super combos at odd intervals. So I didn't have the super combo, so I had to rely on those blue cards to activate a rival.
And doing the Wolfang Fist on top of Rush Attack Vegeta, just kind of stopping it from getting its attacks in. I always forget that's a 15k base. I always think it's 20.
Yeah, because it gets that combo on swing. So the first K is always 20k, and then if they have enough Z energy to proc the activate main, it goes up to 30k, I think, or 25k. I can't remember.
I think
it's 10 or 15 plus.
I think it's a plus 10. I might be wrong. Dropping Pan, you still have a leader swing, and your attack is still going through on this situation, so you could still combo. It doesn't hurt you too much, but it is one of those things where, I don't know, you still have a lot of pressure. You can't swing Bean Thane. You're both at 4 life, but it leaves you in a situation where you could just pass with 5 open energy and go, all right, cool, do your turn, you know?
This was a very complicated turn because he's going into a turn with 5 energy, a secret rare on field, a unison that threatens my leader, and a leader that threatens my leader. Plus, he's going to be able to crack the pan to take one of my battle cards, which additionally threatens my leader, plus 5 energy to do whatever he's going to do. So I have to think long and hard about what I want to do here. I have the Vegeta secret rare in hand. I could have paid 4, just activated main, loan is filled up, but then I wouldn't have the Vegeta secret rare to pressure 3 damage with. So I have to think about what I want to do. I got rid of those concentrated Kaioken Gokus, so I can't easily snipe the pan off the field.
I don't know if that card can snipe. I don't think it negs, does it? I thought it just, if it's less than, it KOs.
I think if you play it, it's 20. And then I have a card in hand that would let me 20 again.
Gotcha.
If I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I had a way to neg the pan 15 to get it to 25. So I would have been able to snipe it with the Kaioken, which is what I was thinking. But here, I just play the Goku just to deal a damage to Steve. So he's at 3. He's now in triple strike range. And I have another pressure piece on field for the turn following this. What I didn't know is if I could survive a 40k swing, a unison swing, a Gohan swing, and then 5 energy work. So I have to sequence this turn.
Coolers are a 5k combo, though, aren't they? No,
the blue ones are.
Yeah. I was trying to think how you can maximize your resource, but having a topo is always a good way, which I think is your 3rd topo of the game so far.
This is the 3rd topo on my side and the 4th topo.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, Steve is sitting at like 8 cards in hand-ish. So he has 4 swings left, and each swing is going to tax him 2 cards. And I think I'm sitting on something like 7 or 8 cards in my hand. this was a really scary turn. I know I didn't want to face that 40K. And you'll see Steve makes some pretty wild choices here as far as, so he takes one of the coolers. He was like, I want the pretty one. So he took the pretty one. I think he swings because I'm at 5 life at this point.
You're at 4.
I'm at 4 life. Yeah. So where my leader is sitting at a base 5K right now. I have to sacrifice a ton of cards in hand to get out of these swings.
Now, Grant, you have not flipped this turnover, so I mean, like, just one combo will allow you to get technically another 5K, but you're still, like you said, you're a 10K leader at that point compared to a 25 battle card, which he is obviously right now comboing.
And he used on the cooler there, he gave the cooler an additional, he gave the Skillless an additional 6K combo power. So I think this cooler is sitting at something like 46K.
I was really expecting Steve to pay 2 to play a Son Goku because he has 2 red cards.
Steve is planning on doing something else. I know I didn't want to take the 2 damage here. Because what I'm afraid of is I'm afraid of Goku Defender of Earth. If I'm at 4 life, and you see it, I sequenced incorrectly there. Instead of comboing those topos off, I should have just comboed with the super rare, played the cooler, negged the cooler. That would have been enough to get me out of the combo, and I didn't have to waste the 2 5K combos on the topo. So that was my mistake comboing there. But I'm afraid of this Defender of Life, because if I'm at 2 life, he takes me down to 1, he swings, he combos out, I'm tapped out. There's nothing that I can do here.
Yeah.
And what I was really afraid of is if he played 2 of these in the side deck, or in the Z deck. I didn't want to strike 2 life off of these guys. But are they red if your opponent has 4 or more life to take a damage?
Yeah, it's only 4 or more.
Yeah. So in a way, I kind of freaked myself out. But he's going to combo fairly heavy on this to get me to take the 2 damage.
Yeah.
But he also knows that he's got a unison swing and a leader swing left that both threaten a damage based on what kind of combo power I have in my hand. So it was a really smart idea for him to pressure a little hard there.
Put you in a tight spot, either get you to take 2 life or just expend your hand.
Yeah. Like, I think I'm sitting at maybe 6 or 7 cards in hand at this point. He casts this Unison, which has Empower.
I feel like swinging with the Frieza would have been a better choice than playing the Unison afterwards.
He had 4 cards in hand, which is why he didn't. Because he only has 4 cards in hand. So he dumps down to 2. Makes me combo. I have 4 cards left in my hand, I think. He swings again, discards his last 2. I have just enough to get out of the attack. And now he has no cards in hand. He can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just throw the Vegeta down because he has no cards in hand.
Gotcha.
Like,
okay.
It literally came down to 5K coffee.
I forgot you had the topo on the first swing. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, little red on red right there. Topo's bringing back. But
yeah. Those topos were incredibly safe to play because red doesn't really have a good counterplay that stops topo from entering. So topo against red is incredibly strong.
Yeah. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind, there's buttons, there's links, descriptions. Check them out.
Later, guys.